right, teams, how's going on? I just wanted to do a little quick webinar, just to kind of talk about the market situation and how it's acting, and especially SPI. What SPI is doing is actually following a downtrend, which is fine. They do what they want to do. But tomorrow is going to be super important. Why? If we notice that this daily fails, we're going to notice that, okay, yeah, weekly is going to have the potential to keep fading, meaning weekly. You can see a downtrend happening now. This thing could end up bringing it down to the area of 360, even bringing to a lower low of 355. So for now, I guess this is going to be our main intention is how weekly, how daily acts tomorrow. And please understand that weekly also has the potential to kind of do what? Reverse midway. It has done it before. It reversed midway before to keep pushing up. Now, reverse midway can happen. Why it can happen? Because you can notice that K is still over above D on monthly and also on quarterly and also on yearly. So there's a good chance that this weekly can return and reverse midway. Based on who? On daily, to hold this K on D to start reversing up like it did here, and especially this is a full reset, and it has done like a little before of coming down, and then reset and recover it again. Now, the main potential and reason here is for SPI to kind of respect this K on D, meaning that we don't want to see pretty much this thing under 377, 378 again, because if you do, then completely confirmation for weekly to start downtrending and eventually, start shifting the momentum. So yes, it could be a risky play to hold if the market is going to keep tanking. Now, like I said, are important for SPI is to hold this K on D and to continue the momentum into an uptrend. 4 hours shifted. 15 minutes is still under reset, so we can still see an upper push or higher low hold based on, let's see now, 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour took a lot of momentum, so that's good. It's not like it's sitting on top and price is still at here. The more resets, the better for it to kind of hold a higher low, because the last time it did on 1 minute, 1 hour was in this area of 372. So we hold at this area of 380 again, then we can kind of see a continuation into a higher high. So this is just all based on action. So for now, what we want to do is expect K to hold D and not let it cross down again, because then this message is going to keep being a pattern to potentially weekly to start just bringing it downtrend, and now becomes this a lower low into a potential of 365 and so on and so on. So the market, could react towards that. Now, I'm not talking about the whole market. I'm actually talking about tickers that actually follow SPI heavy. Recently we have a lot of tickers that have followed SPI, but they're pretty much sitting on daily reset. This is a messy daily reset, so we can still see a continuation of daily. Other ones have a pretty solid, smooth momentum of reset, so we can start seeing an uptrend and then a potential to not follow SPI anymore. So for now, we're gonna focus on SPI, because SPI has been, pretty much sinking a lot of tickers. They sink with SPI, so we have to depend on SPI right now. Whenever ticker starts, following or mimicking and following SPI and so on, then we don't have to depend on SPI anymore like we weren't before. It's just recently with the market tank with SPI and so on, we are following SPI's action. But once it starts, syncing with SPI, we're going to stop following SPI, which is going to be basing the momentum. So overall for right now, SPI, like I said, we want K to, hold D and continue an uptrend based on who? On the monthly, K over D, also quarterly and yearly, for the continuation of an uptrend. So pretty much next month, this month could be sitting here. So now if the next month sits, goes on the 360, this month actually, if it goes on the 368, then we can expect a momentum shift. Meaning momentum shift that we're talking about, pretty strong downtrend like it happened here. But for now, market is still strong. Well, I don't believe that we should be downtrending just yet. I do believe that we should be uptrending a new all-time highs based on the hold. how many times we have held this area. So overall, the potential here is to keep holding higher lows, like lower lows. So now we wanted to kind of hold this level and do a 4 hours reset at least above 377, 378 to go into a higher high and stop setting up to 395, or hold this 1 hour reset and if we get a higher high next day or tomorrow, then we can have the potential to start setting up for 395 again. So like I said, this is going to be a tricky back and forth kind of things because we have a messy momentum. We have a downtrend weekly, we have a downtrend daily, we have an uptrend 4 hour, we have an uptrend monthly, quarterly, and so it's it's back and forth. Like not everything is matching to make the ticker strong to go up into an uptrend. We actually have different kind of time frames that it's making the whole little mess and struggling and so on until until a whole time frame starts taking control, and then we start basing higher lows in action. So for now, like I said, based on XPI, we wanted to kind of start for K to hold D and to push. If it pushes an 88, then you'll be an intention setup for a new times high. But if we come back down to on the 377 and expect, for weekly to kind of start pushing this thing into a lower low for the coming June, July, May, and so on, and then September, August comes again, and then we'll start being a bullish market again. So that's just based on that. Now let me go back to our tickers now. I'm gonna kind of show you something here in our tickers. Yeah, I'm gonna show you something in our ticker what's happening, and I'm gonna show you how it's matching so many patterns. But I mean, matching patterns, you're gonna notice here. I'm gonna zoom in like this, and so you can see the daily reset here in this potential here. You can notice we have a daily reset, momentum barely starting to reset at a previous high. And so we're gonna go to the next one. This is just GAGX. Same thing. Daily reset naked. We're just getting started. Same thing for this one. BNGO, which is fine what it does. Let it go up, let it go down, let it go up. This area right here is the area that we're going to consolidate the reset. Now let's keep going up. Remember what I mean by area of consolidation mean that eventually we're going to do what? Run up a 870, 880 into a 9 higher high once you start setting up. And I'm going to explain out what I mean by that in a minute. And we're going to notice that this one's already setting. You're going to notice K is over D. We're going to notice here the same thing, K is over D. This is SPI. And let's go to oxygen. Oxygen is the same thing. Oxygen is another thing. I'm just basing this on the momentum of monthly because I love the monthly, how it has a potential of a higher high. So eventually it's going to potentially squeeze for another based on, low float. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's 182, but it runs a lot in range. I guess he picks up a lot of volume to make sure that he has that range and push. But, pretty good manipulation since he's not being owned, but, the float is not too much low. So it's not being owned just, but the players to the public is actually, probably inside investors and stuff. So now let's go to just to this ad. And this is just one that I'm still in, based on the potential that the daily still uptrending. I only have 30% on this. But anyways, let's go to TTI. This is just from yesterday's ad. This is why I have them here. Wanted to see if they probably, would it return or hold or something. So far they're holding the same price level, but it doesn't interest me just because we didn't run bullish, and also because daily still downtrending. Let's go to the next one. This is another one that I'm still in, but this is based on floats and also on monthly. Monthly still bullish, and I feel like this should be running 21 or 20 eventually in the, later in the future. I'm not too worried about this one. This is a long-term play. We'll go to the next one, AMC. AMC. This is a good example is what I mean. You see this area? Look how long we consolidated this area, this reset. We consolidated this reset for about 3-4 days until what? Until momentum started being bullish and K started respecting D, start setting up. You see the momentum where he took it when he finally started pushing. He started actually pushing once the momentum started, uptrending fed. So this is the main action that we notice here. And that was here and here. But that's after, the daily reset setup. But look how long it took for it to set up. You see this wick, higher wick, and so on, and to keep pushing. It's what I was explaining about the recent stickers that BNGO that did the top wick, and back and forth to let it consolidate that area, which is fine. And then, like I said, I'm gonna explain what I mean by that in a minute. And we're gonna keep going to Avenue another one that we're in. We can notice that daily starting to uptrend again. We go uptrend. You see daily resetting, area consolidation resetting, and if we go monthly, money still bullish. K is over D, so that should be a good potential that this should be uptrending into a higher high of what into $3 and so on, long term play. Now let's keep going to the next one, CNGL. You can notice CNDL still consolidating this area, which is fine. Let it consolidate their area. So we can start pushing up eventually, right? Consolidate the area means that we're going to have small candles. That also means that we're going to have small momentum pushes up and downs. Let's keep going to the next one. ITPA is another one, which is daily reset. I'm going to keep going. You can see this other one, the XPR. You can notice this little gap that it created, but it's consolidating to keep pushing up. Now, and there's another one, key staff, consolidating daily reset. They're all just matching. So what I'm trying to say is you cannot jump from one to the other and expecting for the other one to move faster when they're all doing the same pattern. Just be patient, let it consolidate the reset, and let it come back up. And I'm gonna explain to you what I mean by consolidate the reset. There's another one, boys, consolidating the reset. And to keep going up, look at how bullish the momentum is. This has the potential to just pop another. When K pops another off D into a higher high, this ticker is going to pop another higher high into what? Into 152, 150. So now there's another one, ONTX, consolidate the reset that is happening now. And then I guess this is just recently the ones that we have owned. So now let's go back. So what I mean by consolidating the reset with so many of you guys and girls. Consolidate reset, let's do an example of staff and so on the stickers, right? Let's go to daily. Look at daily here. When daily was, it did this higher high. Look how many times it consolidated. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same area here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about a week. When did it actually finally start taking, a deeper turn? It was pretty much after the momentum of daily started taking, a continuation downtrend. After midway, it continued a smooth downtrend. Price followed, and it's just continue, right? So now what I'm saying is, let me go to a different one, and you're gonna know what I mean by that. Same thing here. You're gonna notice if I go straight. This is the heat. The heat was consolidated about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even this week right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was a weak consolidation. And that's just what I mean is the flow. I mean, the roof, the heat. You consolidate the heat in this area to keep pushing down and eventually bringing the ticker potentially into a lower lows and pushing the ticker into a lower lows. Even this one has a smoother momentum. Now, the smoother momentum is what I mean is you see how this is just barely setting up here. This is just a starter. Look what the starter, what I mean is it was still sitting in that area of floor on the heat. What I mean, it was sitting on roof on heat, but it was sitting on the floor for shorts. It was sitting for them to be able to potentially, start having that dip, averaging in for them to make money on the way down. Now, what I mean is, you see how the area was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 days, and once we start smoothing in and daily start taking that the downtrend potential, that's whenever the ticker start making lower lows, and squeezing big moves at the end of the move. Because look, it's the same thing, squeezing big moves at the end of the move on the upside, squeezing big moves, at the end of the downtrend. So now what we need to do is wait for this consolidation again and start making, a reverse potential back into 128 just on ticks. And then probably PM high into 190 or so on. But based on the momentum, we won't know how much or what the range is going to be until daily runs the heat. And we're pretty much, let's say, for example, it's running 127. Heat is sitting right here. PM runs. After hours runs, PM pre-market runs. And guess what happens when the daily is on heat? Especially on heat now. And it creates that gap that yesterday's closing was at 130 and the pre-market ran to 170. So that actually means it's saying that you should be pretty much locking your profit before the next market opens, because it can, open up in a gap fill, and it's going to have the potential to come down. But also, if it's sitting on heat, it has the potential to start reversing back down. So what I'm saying, we won't really know how much or how long the momentum is going to take the price based on the ticker until the momentum shows where it's at, where price is at when it ran. That's just based on who's buying, who's selling, who's buying. So, based on the steam or when the time is being and you're watching that, that's when you're gonna be able to tell if he has room or not, or you're able to sell or not. It's all based on, you can't really predict, other than you have to predict right now that it's consolidating, it has the potential to reverse, and it's gonna keep going up. You won't predict the heat or momentum or everything or what the levels until it shows you the levels. This is just one example. And then let's go back to another one. Like for example, ACX. I mean, we're gonna example I'm sorry, ACXT. You see what I'm saying? Look at this constellation that was barely starting heat. This area, we weren't making much moves. We were still sitting in the 118, 114, 118, 110, over $1. And guess what happens? He starts taking uptrend. Short starts taking control. Bulls know that short started control. And then I just wasn't expecting this much of a movement based on the whole overall market. I just noted that this ticker was super bullish, but daily was taking under control. I wasn't going to try to fight that. I was just looking for dips eventually at the end of the day, or whenever we have major dips. That's whenever I was alert to dips, right? We will have these major dips here. So overall, you can just notice that this area here was a consolidation of the heat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. What we need to do here is consolidate the reset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're still probably expecting 2, 3 more days. So start, building up into higher highs and start pushing back into 84, 86, and eventually squeeze back into at least $1. $1, it's possible because 122, 133, even a higher high. This is just one example. Let's go back to another one, which is Hetzel. Same thing. You're gonna notice that Hetzel heat was consolidating this area, and guess what we need to do now is let it consolidate the reset to start running up again. Same thing. Let's go for another one. Naked. Naked is the same thing. You're gonna notice that Naked pretty much he ran 340, which is, you already know where we were coming from. We were coming from way, way lower than that. So anyone, should have made a lot of profit, but actually it made many more people get caught based on the market to tank. So what I'm saying is, if you consolidate this area of heat to run heat, let it consolidate this area of reset. You could probably not making a lower low or hold this level and start resetting back again. The potential on this one is 140, 245 again. Those are the PTs. For right now, 340 is too far. Until what? Until we probably run 360, 370, depending on when. Midday, market open, EOD, into after hours, pre-market, and let it gap up, pre-market after hours, so it can open up into a high, and probably come back down. So just all based when the time is then and when you're there. You have to keep an eye on this. And this is just one. So let's go to our last one. So I'm just going to give you examples because I'm gonna show you them. I'm also gonna show you how the top gainers were pretty much all of them that ran. They came out from daily resets. So now, like I said, BNGO is another one. You can see the wicks consolidate the area. This is another one that consolidates so long. Look at this one, higher up 12, then runs a higher high of 15. Still consolidating this heat. What I liked about was the hold, but because the market was trash, it had the potential making it super weak and not hold this level. How is it gonna hold this much? And then I hold this much of a gain for so long, eventually pushing down. So this ticker is one of my favorites to potentially start reversing heavy back. And when I'm talking about heavy back, it can even run in the future the $15 again. So let it consolidate this area of heat. Reset. Let it consolidate the area to reset so it can start pushing back into a reverse. This wicks, this bottom wicks, this is supposed to be, what I mean is you can make your potential entries and exits pretty quick. Or you can just, let it give the time, catch these areas of resets and average him some more. So you can kind of know that, he has the potential to reverse back again. So let's go back to the last one. See, Tion is the same thing. You see daily reset. Look how long we had the consolidation. We had one heat here of $68. And then we had another one here, a consolidation of 1, 2, 3, 4 days of 147. And then we had another one, a setup, and then eventually started setting up for downtrending. Now, what I mean is we're going to have to wait for this consolidation of wicks, catching wicks. They catch on wicks because now daily's on your favor, right? Meaning that, if he runs pre-market or whatever and he opens up a gap, take a profit. End of day, midday, dip again, and it'll, eventually go up. If you don't want to fight the up and downs, just catch dips and let it consolidate so you can reverse back. And then this is just a start. I'm sorry. This is just the start. So what I'm saying is, this area, It's going to potentially, start pushing up. When are we going to start seeing price changes in so many other tickers, especially not this one, but in so many other? We're going to start seeing a huge amount of change once we start going over 60, over 55. That's whenever price, you're going to be able to see price that even has a gap fill potential here. So this gap here goes into 130. So what I'm saying is this area is good potential to catch dips, but not just for this ticker. I've been explaining the past tickers as well. We have an area of recent consolidation. Those are the ones that dips you want to catch for the reverse potential of at least, half of the retracement. So half of the retracements could end up pre-market after hours into a higher high. You won't know until when, until the time comes, until when he's doing it, how he's doing it, and how much momentum it has taken it when the price has ran that price range. So like I said, right now, what we're predicting is the research coming to us. We're gonna, pretty much average this position again. And even if you want to accumulate profit and you up and downs 5 minutes exit, redip 15 minutes and so on and so on, you can do that because you're no longer supposed to be in the downtrend. You're supposed to be in the reverse potential to go back into an uptrend. So you should be, safe to say that it shouldn't be downtrending no more. It should be uptrending, potentially making you whatever dip you take is going to put you into a higher high or to a potential profit take. So long story short, guys, the market, many of the tickers here, like I showed you, is not just this one. Let me go back. Let's go back to here to the top gainers, and I'm gonna show you what top gainers have been doing out today. You see, top gainers what's doing this thing. Oh no, this is I'm sorry, this is after hours. Let's go to one day. Top gainers. This one, even wow, even reverse pretty heavy. What a monster! Look at this, 729 to 1269, $3 range. Crazy range, beautiful range too. And on what? Knowing that if you have potential, look at this 15 minutes reset. Why? Because daily it's on what? On your side. This is why you dip lower time frames and expect, a reverse potential because you have higher time frames in your favor. Even weekly, how you have it on your favor. So what I'm saying is, don't only dip or redip, take profit, redip whenever it's an uptrend. But you can redip, and average when it's in a downtrend, or just don't until it settles and you have that high time frames reset. So now this is one. Let's go back to to the reset. You see this reset? What happened? Look at 168, $14-15, and this is all based on news, by the way. You had a news, so volume came in, strong volume demand. They had the momentum to push that demand, which on a reset told it did what it did. Let's go back to this one. You can notice here. Look where this is coming from. They're coming from daily resets. I even noticed this ticker at 8:30. I mean, yeah, like around 8. I mean, 270 around there. And I was like, this is AMC. Remember how this one ran when AMC ran, GME ran? This is one of them. So I was like, this thing is gonna potentially. I think it was one of them, or it was one of the cryptos. Can't remember what it was, but it was one of the ones that ran pretty hard, which is what I think it was AMC. When AMC and GME ran, this thing ran. AMC GME was running today, and look what it did today. It ran insanely, 248 into 435. And I didn't want to chase it because I already know it had the potential to kind of fade pretty much heavy down. So, I didn't want to kind of mess with it. And I just let it do its run because, I already got my potential that I'm focused in. This thing came from a daily reset, not even daily reset. Look at this weekly, momentum hold for a couple of times. Look at how it held about 3 weeks just to push a nice higher high today. So, it's all based on hold. So daily reset. Let's go back to this one. You see this daily resetting, finally pushing. This is just one example. Look at GME. You see this daily reset of so long consolidation. Look what's happening now. Even filling the gap. It's filling that gap of $200. And this is what it did today based on buyers. Look at this daily reset. This daily reset came into a $3. Look what it pushed into pre-market, $7. If we go to 15 minutes, I'm talking about pre-market. It pushed 880, which is even more. So JADX, you see the JADX daily reset starting to push those options. You can probably see a little small red candle selling here and buying next day, and eventually what? 3-4 days down, this daily gonna push what? This higher high of 340. So this is just based on daily potential. You're gonna see this one even came from a daily reset based on the market tank. And the same thing. Look at this daily reset came into even pushed into a higher high. Good for that. Even had a good earnings. You notice here, there's this one had the daily reset. It went from 11 to 33 bucks. And then now it's pushing once again, meaning that what? If you want to go long in this ticker, expect it, especially if you waited this long to watch this video, this is a good ticker to keep going long back to over $25, because this is another one that follows AMC and in GME. Let's keep going. You can notice almost this thing almost daily resetting. Guess what? It runs a higher high based on who? Monthly K bouncing off a D to run the higher high price. Last one. You can notice even this one. Even this one has the potential to kind of what? To keep pushing up. But this is just, like a daily reset. But look what it did today. You see how what it did today? It went from $3.90 to $4.90. That's over $4. That's pretty good range. 3 float, not bad. Now there's a good example. You see any 380. Look what it did today. 356 on a daily reset. They're just daily resetters, like all of these tickers are just being daily resets that eventually, don't miss the moves on the ones that you have. Wait until you fails or wait until, you run heat so you can start making money. So even this one, like you see the run they did, 306, 358, meaning that every 15 minutes, look at how high 15 minutes is even resetting. It's pretty resetting pretty high. So that's good. Higher low reset. Let's go to the next one. You see this daily reset? This one got stuck for a little bit, but we're not even in on this one. So, but you can kind of see that it's coming from a daily reset. Let's check this one out. You see this one, daily reset. It came from 107. Look how long, like pretty much half of the retracement of the fall. So this is 268. Let's go back to 15 minutes. You see how it bounced 286 to 270, and they're all just coming from the daily reset. Even this one, daily reset, starting to set up to a reverse. Same thing, daily reset, start, look at even this drop, and then daily reset, even brought it back up to a higher high. So last example for today, you see, daily reset, and guess what the price did? It ran from a price of 405 to 480, big range, low float. So makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is, wait for your setup, wait for your resets to set up. And just like the heat set up to make lower lows and make a downtrend, wait for your dailies, resets to set up and let it, push up, push up, push up, and eventually making higher highs. That is what I wanted to go over to you guys today. So be patient. What was happening now? We waited the resets. Now we're waiting the consolidation of the resets to start making our turn the uptrend. You won't know how much is uptrend as long as you keep on track. So just keep on track, and you'll be able to tell. Anyways, you guys already and girls know that I alerted. So I'll be pretty much keeping on checking everything. So right now I don't want to kind of accumulate. I don't want to accumulate positions. So I want to make sure that we're focusing the same thing and closing positions so we can start attacking fresh momentums. And we're not waiting for this daily reset, weekly momentum, daily momentum, monthly momentum, and so on being messy. We want it to be at least daily, weekly, and 4 hours, and monthly to be on our side. So we're not fighting this consolidation or these long waits. So for now, like I said, be patient, because that is the only way that you're gonna, be able to have a strong reverse on your money if you're patient based on what the market's been doing. So give the market a chance here to reset, and eventually, this ticker should be resetting pretty strong. So that'll be for today, guys. And this is just a quick webinar. Any questions, I'll be in chat. And I guess I see you guys tomorrow. Peace.